Hey, everybody. I think I'm on. Am I on? Maybe. Don't know. It's not showing me, so I don't know. There we go. Hi. Okay. Welcome to Talk Wrestling here on the Jeff Meacham Network. You're watching, of course, on YouTube as you do every week. Thank you all for the patience with the day delay. Yesterday was a little crazy. It was Memorial Day, as we know, here in this country, and family was here as far as social distancing wise. We had a little bit of a together, if you will, and then on top of that, we had dinner and everything was going on. So I ended up having to not do the stream yesterday, but I'm here today for future reference, by the way, may I add. Talk Wrestling will now be on Mondays, as usual, but at 6 Eastern, this time slot. Basically, with the way things are playing out, 7 Eastern is too late in the day for me to be live or recording due to people being here and me not having a fourth wall. So that's the way it's going to be. When I'm live, it'll be at 6 Eastern, not 7. Hello, WrestleFan98. Thank you for coming on early on YouTube. JJ, thank you, sir, for coming in. You'll notice at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a GoFundMe link. Our buddy Chris Mace, who unfortunately he lost his home in a fire yesterday. It's quite a fucked up situation, as a matter of fact. And I highly encourage everybody watching this show and any No DQ broadcast to go to the link at the bottom, the GoFundMe link, and also to donate to Chris directly. Reach out to him on social media in any way you can, and get him the help that his family needs. They're rebuilding everything. The house is a total loss, and I can't stress enough how horrible that is in a time where we can't really go anywhere, right? So please support Chris. This is going to be up the entire show. I'm not going to put the comments up on the screen, the little pins, if you will, like I usually do. I want the ticker to run the whole show, so that is how it's going to be. Colin Andrew, what's up, brother? Good to see you. And WrestleFan has a question. He says, what did you think of the inclusion of fans last night on Raw? I believed it helped immensely. I really did. I as well. I really, even though they were NXT trainees, I don't know if it was a mental thing, right? I don't know really if it was more about psyching us out. The fact that there were people in the audience, even though they were behind hockey plexiglass, which I love the reference on Aaron's show that a fan made. Bless the No DQ fans for referencing hockey when I had none to watch. I love you guys for that. But yeah, it definitely made for. I thought Raw was actually pretty damn good last night, and I don't get impressed with Raw easily anymore, but I really enjoyed Raw. It was a well done show. Everything hit its mark. Everything that needed to go off right went off right, and it was a good broadcast. So I had no problem with it, and I think the audience did indeed, as you mentioned, Wrestling Fan helped. So there you go. There's my take on that. Colin's got the grill fired up. He's TV on the out in the bar. I thank you so much. I appreciate you watching me on the bar. I would love to be able to broadcast from outside, and with the new residence we're going to be moving into, beautiful patio, Wi-Fi outside, which I do have Wi-Fi out there, but the plug thing the plug extension is a thing. So we're gonna try to do some live shows. It's not gonna be over the summer. It's gonna be balls out this summer. It's balls hot today. If you're watching this live, it's Tuesday the 26th, and it's been in the 90s all day here, and I'm roasting. So there you go. And Ginger wearing black on a TV show, not exactly a good thing, but there you go. I also want to thank everybody who's watching right now on Facebook.com/Jeff Meacham Network. That is my personal page, if you will, for the fans of Talk Wrestling, of the Jeff Meacham Network, of mine over the last 18 years, and my business contacts as well. I have been asked many, many times in the last 11 years that I've had Facebook if I can add the fans and add people from the business that I don't actually know on my Facebook. And I was very hesitant to do that for the longest time. I decided, you know what? Hell with it. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'll create another Facebook page. That way, the wrestling side of me is away from me and my personal stuff. And you notice the only thing personal you really see here is, let's see if I can is the picture of me and Dylan from a couple Christmases ago. I don't take that down. That stays up all year. I love that picture to pieces. And see, it's 89 in Cleveland, so it's hot. It's hot across the country. It's hot across the world. From what I understand, the people in Britain are roasting alive, and it's crazy. So stay inside, folks. Stay cool. Stay hydrated. I've got my Crystal Light infused water here in my NWO cup for life. There you go. So I'm gonna have a little sippy sip right now, actually. Wrestling Fan 98. Do you actually believe Rey Mysterio will be retiring next week on Raw, knowing a supposed retirement ceremony is supposed to be held? No, I don't. I believe the graphic. I believe the whole thing is a perpetration of the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins. I think he's firmly on that. I just do. I think he's the one that I don't think it's honestly going to be a thing. It's going to be a sham by Rollins. It's not going to be one of those Mark Henry things where Ray is actually out there retiring and pulling the Mark Henry and pulling the coat off and getting back to work. I think it's going to be a Seth Rollins and his disciples thing. That's what I think is going to happen. JJ, while WWF New York was at the height of its popularity, do you think they missed an opportunity by not opening a West Coast version of WWF New York as far as WWF LA or whatever? I really do. I honestly think, Jay, the reason they didn't open a WWF LA or a WWF Hollywood out here is because there were so many themed restaurants out here. Number one, Planet Hollywood out here, and all these other things out here, and there was too much saturation of that kind of thing as it was. And also keep in mind that the WWF has always been East Coast based, and back in the early 2000s, late 90s, they really weren't stretching their businesses as far as locations outside of that New York, New Jersey, Upper East Side area. So there's that. And see, it's 80 in Jersey. There you go. It's hot across the board, kids. Kobe wants to know my thoughts on the situation with Alexa Bliss and a podcaster I'm not going to name on my show for any reason at any time. I will say that person that you're mentioning, Kobe, is a giant syphilitic douchebag, and he can kiss my ass for doing nothing, honestly, but helping our cause, because he chose to call us out, and the people rallied around Aaron. So he's a syphilitic douche with poisonous intentions on his own self. So the hell with him. There you go. Jameson and Coke Zero. There you go. I have my flask of Honey Jack right there next to me, and we shall see what happens later on tonight as we move along in the day. But right now, I'm not drinking. I'm being a good boy. I'm not drinking. It's not really 5 o'clock yet, so I'm being good. Message from hockey. Okay, that's good to know. Steve Fosterling, I can't wait for this so-called greatest match ever at Backlash. They are really making a big deal about this Edge Orton thing, and I think it's going to blow up in their face. I really do. It's going to really cause a problem. That it's not going to live up to the overinflated hype that they are throwing its way, and it's going to be ugly when it backlashes on them. The Cleaver Crown Andrew, if you could build a match for the Fiend at SummerSlam, what would it be? Good question. I think because the Fiend did not face Braun Strowman at Money in the Bank, that it should be the Fiend against Braun Strowman. Money in the Bank. It's really, the glasses are really annoying, aren't they? They with the flexion. That's why Aaron doesn't wear his glasses on the air. I can see why now. Okay, I'm going to try this. See if I can see. Doubt it, though. Wrestling fan, do you like AEW and do you foresee it being a legitimate alternative that casual fans can get into? And unlike WCW, can it stay away from making awful leadership mistakes? I'm not a crazy AEW fan, but I would like to regularly watch the product just to give them a chance and hopefully have another pro wrestling company to follow. I encourage every single person in this chat room, all 29 as of this moment of view, it was up to 45, which kind of sucks. Lost 15 people. That kind of sucks. There we go. There are more people coming. I can't see. So I'm going to just try to do this. I encourage everybody in here and everybody watching on demand later to watch AEW. It's a great show. It's not know if it's an alternative. It's definitely different as far as there are definite differences between the two companies' approaches. But it's still pro wrestling, guys, and that's what we want as fans. We want pro wrestling. We want to see guy versus guy, girl versus girl, team versus team, whatever. We're getting the wrestling each and every week, whether it's in front of 2 people or in front of 20,000 people. So that's just the way it. And AEW is a good show. Do I think it's better than NXT? Most weeks, it goes back. Honestly, it goes back and forth. See, Foster saying AEW is better. I personally enjoy NXT more, but that's my cup of tea, not anybody else's. I don't try to push my shit on anybody else. I'm also wearing an NXT shirt and an Nerdy Cube hat in support of Chris Mace, our Aftermatch brothers. So again, the ticker here at the bottom. Please donate to the to his GoFundMe. Help him out any way you can. Their house burned down yesterday. I can't, like, it's complete worst kind of fuck up you can get. You've lost your damn home in a natural disaster. It's just beyond crazy. It's awful. JJ says AEW reminds him of TNA when they first began. I would have to agree. They're very much it's a groundswell support type thing where they're gaining an audience, they're building that audience. They're coming into their own. It's just a matter of getting the audience built and maintaining it and making it stick. That is the key, is making that stick, because TNA had the audience, presenting it as alternative to WWE, and then they kept signing superstar after superstar after superstar that WWE either let get away or deliberately cast aside. And they basically became a watered-down version of WWE. So if AEW can avoid that trend and sign guys with a buzz like Moxley, like Brody Lee, like Chris Jericho, like these guys that have come in, then I am all about it. And I hope they continue to thrive, survive, and kick ass, because we, all of us, every single one of us in this room, needs a something to watch wrestling-wise besides WWE on a global scale. Now, I have been, for the last 2 years or whatever it's been now, forgive me, Champ and everybody else involved, I've been, singing the praise of the NWA and, pontificating that, their show on YouTube, which actually is on right now, and I'm going against them, so I'm a hypocrite, freaking great, but that's okay. I can watch NWA on demand. You can also watch me on demand if you prefer. That's, that's your prerogative, right? That's what Bobby Brown said, or whatever the hell how the song went. Wrestling Fan 1998. What do you think TNA never moved? Why do you think they never moved its shows to arenas like AEW has been doing? I understand the finances came into play. Holding their weekly show in Orlando hurt the overall look. I 100% disagree. And I'll tell you what. The Impact Zone had a tremendous look to it. It looked great on TV. It was set up great. I was in the Impact Zone for a pay-per-view. It was a great setup. I think they had a good business model as far as the weekly pay-per-views, and up until they got the TV deal with Fox, and then they moved to Spike or Paramount, or what the fuck it's called now. And they would have done okay. Again, I mentioned this earlier. The fact that they started to think that they needed guys that were castaways, or guys that were, also rans, or weren't as good as they once were, or weren't as big of stars as they thought they were, being on their roster, hurt them. The greatest example I can see opposite of that is Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle, yeah, he had the personal demons, but when he left WWE, he still had a lot of gas in the tank, and he was the franchise player for TNA, regardless of what they tell you about Sting or AJ Styles or whatever. But, Kurt Angle was their guy. JJ, have a great rest of your work shift. Godspeed at the Wally World, and we love you for it, brother. Essential workers, man. Telling you. Yeah, TNA was not hurt by their presentation as far as their location. They were hurt as far as signing the wrong people and over-signing and paying the wrong people too much like WCW did. So, AEW also, keep in mind, they have a billionaire funding. AEW does. Yeah, AEW. That's what I said. TNA did not have billions of dollars to invest. They had the Jarrett's money, and then they sought out the Carters and Panda Entertainment, Energy, whatever the hell they were called. So, completely different dynamic as far as the management approach. So, keep that in mind as you approach that thought process. So, let me, while I have a lull in the comments here, let me talk about tomorrow and Wrestling Rewind here on the YouTube Network, which will be on YouTube and it'll be on the YouTube page. So if you're watching on YouTube, this is for you. Tomorrow on the show, we're going to have SmackDown from May 24th, 2001. Let me get rid of the damn. I know my logo is so pretty, but I want to get rid of it. Tomorrow, we'll be watching the entire episode of SmackDown May 2001. It is the continuation of the fallout from Judgment Day, which was the previous Sunday. And if you look real hard in the audience, you might see me. It's a 18-year-old Jeff Meacham. Not quite graduated from high school yet, Jeff Meacham. You can believe it. I'm still in high school. So there's that. So we'll be on the lookout for that. And also Friday, of course, is No DQ Wrestling Trivia Challenge. You can catch that each and every other Friday here on the Greg Trey brand. And there you go. Colin, I'd love to come by for a burger. Burger sounds really good. I actually had burgers last night. Last night was New Verona Pizza. A couple nights ago, I guess. I had a really good off-the-grill cheeseburger and fries. Delicious stuff. Good shit. All right, wrestling fan. Exactly. AEW's got that $1 billion investment from the Cons. They have their whole football stadium if you really want to be nitpicky, right? They've got the Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium. So, excuse me. So when they want to have their WrestleMania show, quote unquote, they can have it at the Jacksonville Stadium. So it's they've got far more resources than TNA did in 2002, and they've got far better management and better quality of management than WCW did in 1998 when they started to go off the rails. So AEW has the chance to I'm going to lean back on my back. AEW has the chance to really make a go of it if they really, really want to. And I think they will. It's just a matter of actually, making a stand. They're making great headway. The problem with AEW's current existence is they've come along in their first year and they've hit a damn roadblock, much like the E, much like regular sports, much like regular forms of entertainment. We live in a world of isolation right now. We have to stay home. Yes, the restrictions are lifting, but it's just now happening. So we're all getting used to the idea of, we can go back outside. That's great. Hey, we can go down to, Starbucks or whatever. We can go to whatever, I have been planning anyway. I was going to go whether I, could, not wear a mask or not, but I'm going to go away for a week and go on a little house helping project. So, I'll be on a train all day Sunday, and I look forward to it. But, I'm getting out of the house. That's the key, right? So, hi, Jason Veal. Good to see you, sir. Wrestling Fan 98 also says, would you say that Randy Orton has had a great career when looking back in hindsight? I think he has, but I thought something was missing with him. Randy Orton has had a tremendous career. I will definitely agree with you there. I really hurt. I need to sit up. Hang on a second, guys. I apologize for the view you're about to get here, but okay, there we go. Sit the hell up, get comfortable. It's probably our shows. You don't get comfortable right away, and then you start regretting life. Alrighty, there we go. Now I can sit up, sit back, bring the tray in, tilt the screen. All right. Orton, always felt that he sometimes didn't. I felt that sometimes he didn't give it his all creatively. For example, I felt the Viper gimmick was kind of lame and limited. I don't know if the Viper gimmick itself is limited. I think that the idea that he's a predator has been a prolonged thing with him. Orton's biggest problem has been his own maturity, and he has very much overcome his immaturity in the last 12 to 13 years. He served his suspension in 2006, got the slap on the wrist, sat out 60, and came back. And yeah, he was awful back in the day because he was lazy. He wasn't into committing to the product, and it showed on screen all the time. It took Mick Foley, basically maiming him to really get him to come out of that shell of his. And even still, he was still struggling until he got that big suspension after WrestleMania in 2006 and came back. You could tell when he came back, he was reinvigorated. Even still, he was still struggling. But when he became the WWE champion, when he was awarded the title, when he got in the feud with Cena, going into No Mercy 2007, when Cena tore his pec and he was awarded the championship and started the program with Triple H, restarted it, I should say, he really came into his own. He really showed that he had arrived. And I think he's been pretty consistent since. Now, people are going to point at, his match with Hunter at WrestleMania 25 was god-awful. It was. Excuse me, Jesus Christ. It was also very pigeonholed. They built that match at WrestleMania 25 between Orton and Hunter like it was going to be, somebody was going to die right there in Reliant Stadium. And whoever decided to put the thing on that it wasn't no holds barred and a Triple H get disqualified, he would lose the title, completely subjugated that match to craposity. Complete and utter failure before the bell even freaking rang. It was OVER right there. That was the problem with that match. Otherwise, it would have been awesome. And the fact that he won the title back by winning that stupid I can't think of the word right now. 6-man tag with Legacy versus the McMahons, Triple H, Shane, and Batista. The whole thing was god awful. So, and speaking of Batista, WrestleMania Day says, I never liked Batista. I never got the appeal other than his good physique, but in the ring, he was atrocious. Seeing how he is in real life, I like him. Oh my God, a lot of his matches were unacceptably horrid. Yeah. I tend to agree with that assessment of Dave pretty much. I like Dave, the movie star. I like Dave Bautista, the star of Guardians of the Galaxy. I am not a fan of the Animal Batista. I don't like his style. I don't like the presentation. I never did. And when I look back at the Ruthless Aggression series and I see that there was a consideration of bringing Jindrak in, I go, wow, I get Dave has it because Dave has charisma. I don't deny him the charisma or the drive, okay? But the presentation, I don't even think it's Dave's fault. I think the presentation of Batista made us dislike him more than they expected us to. If that makes any sense. But Big Dave in the ring, not a fan at all. But I do like his movie and TV roles. He's really funny. He's a great actor. I do like Guardians of the Galaxy, and I like him in other stuff he's done. So, but I think he's been back unnecessarily as far as, making him come back in 14 and then leaving again and then making him come back, whatever it was last year or whatever against Hunter. It was just too much. It was too much BS. Too much nonsense. So I don't think he needs to come back. And hopefully when he says he's retired, he's retired. And hopefully this Hall of Fame induction, when it happens, is the end. WrestleMania 98 says, the main event at WrestleMania 25 really killed that feud that had an amazing build, but the home invasion was so obviously staged and corny. I don't know if the match itself was part of the killing. The home invasion thing was really stupidly laid out, really poorly shot, horribly executed. But again, it was designed to make us feel like they were going to beat the shit out of each other. And when they weren't able to, it just it killed any momentum that either of them had. You notice, after Hunter lost the championship, he went back to DX. So, there you go. Batista's matches with with Edge, from 2007 2008 were so bad, and to have bad matches with Edge speaks volumes of the opponents. Again, I have nothing but against David. Yeah, again, I don't dislike Batista in any fashion. I just feel that he was poorly booked, and I feel that he was given the Goldberg push. Big, strapping beast of a dude with a unique look, and WWE saw dollar signs in his eyes and pushed him to the moon and made him the original breakout star of Evolution. And it worked out where, it ended up being Orton being the breakout star. Jesse Hernandez is here, which I am honored that you're watching, Jesse. Thank you so much for tuning in today on Talk Wrestling. Ask Me Anything. Again, Jesse, if you're watching, I appreciate that. There's a ticker here at the bottom, Jess. A friend of mine that lives in Florida who works for NewDQ.com and our NXT Aftermatch team lost his house in a fire last night. So if you can spread the word throughout the wrestling community, I greatly appreciate it, Jess, because I know you have a lot of friends and places, if you will, as the dream would say. So thank you, Jess, for watching. EmpireWrestlingFederation.com. You can definitely, once the world rights itself again, cannot recommend any SoCal promotion more than the EWF. If I could have worked for one company that I didn't work for officially in SoCal, it would be the Empire Wrestling Federation. Jesse and his team are awesome. I love them to pieces. I will go to bat for them and take a bullet for that team any day of the week. I love them all. So thank you, Jess, for watching. Much appreciated. All right, let's see what I can plug here because I'm getting all sappy and emotional and whatnot. And let's get rid of that first of all. Oh, so I mentioned tomorrow was Wrestling Rewind, of course. I did mention that Thursday over on the NoDQ.com channel at Aaron Riff NoDQ. You can catch me as well as the A-Team on the NoDQ review each and every Thursday at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. It'll be the only time that one of my shows is at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. As far as it's not my show, so there you go. But the only show I'll appear live on after 7 Eastern because of current recording restrictions here in Casa de Beach. So there you go. Colin, I'm going to break your heart here. He wants an ideal burger topping because he's grilling. I'm a simple man, as Noah would say. I like Swiss cheese, preferably, but cheddar cheese works too, or American cheese. And a light layer of mayo. That's it. That's all I need. I'm good. Don't need the veggies. Don't need the, the ketchup or the, a bacon. Bacon be good. Bacon works everything. Keep that in mind also. So, bacon. NoDQ.com/Colin, by the way, if you want to follow Colin Andrews' latest hashtag shenanigans. There you go. You know what? I'm going to do something here real quick. Let me bear with me here. Because Lord knows I'm bored and I want to check this out. So, Restaurant98 says, what could prevent Kurt Angle from leaving back in 2006? What deal could have both parties? I don't think it was a matter of money that Kurt left, right? I honestly feel that that he left because Vince told him he needed help and he didn't get the help. So that's why he left. So give me 1 second here. I apologize. I'm trying to get that to load so I can do that. There you go. Yeah, Angle left WWE because he was asked to go get help and he didn't want to. So, cheese and mayo, Colin. Telling you, brother, that's the way it's going to be. Yeah, if Kurt hadn't gone to TNA, then maybe TNA wouldn't be a thing today. Impact, whatever you want to call it. So something to consider. So Rob G says the following, and someone confirmed this for me that I know well enough to know the information of. Let's see here. Hockey is back. Jeff, hopefully everything goes as planned. All teams remain safe and healthy. Your Kings could be the number one pick, if I understood Batman correctly. Is there a confirmation that hockey's back? Because I will do a little internal dance right now if that's the case. Mike X270, this question is too long for Periscope. Should I just tweet your podcast handle and save it for now? Yes. I will be able to read it if you do a picture. So, yeah, go ahead and either DM me or whatever, and I'll read it next week. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. Big G is here. Big Baller G, I should say. So, there you go. Again, if you guys want to come in the chat room or come on the show with me on the stream here, let me know. There's the link here at the bottom. And, of course, at the very, very bottom on the ticker, please support our Aftermath for Chris Mace. He lost his home in a fire yesterday. It's freaking tragic, and it really is. It's just awful. I'm going to bring in another member of the Nerdy Q team to join the fun, if you will. Let me set things up here, G, momentarily. Let me so I can get this to work here. That freaking cluster. I think that's the one I want. I hope so, because that's what we're going with. And we'll do that. And Big G, what up, Big G?
What is going on, brother? How you doing today?
I am doing better than a lot of people, so I guess I can't complain, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, I could. That's part of my job, I guess. But,
Yeah.
So you yesterday, what do you think of the presentation with the quote-unquote fans?
I enjoyed it, but I think it's a little too late because AEW has been doing it since April time they've been doing it.
I think pretty much since the lockdown went down, which was late March. So yeah.
I mean, it was like I said, I'm fine with it because they actually got some people in there, and they're being safe. They have the whole hockey glass up there. That way, everybody's standing 6 feet apart and whatnot. But
Right.
it's a little too late now, because AEW's been, like I said, AEW's been doing it since this whole thing started. Now, if WWE did it when it first started, then you'd be like, okay, well, I'd be cool with it. But I'm fine with it. It's no biggie. At least they got some kind of noise going in there now. So,
right. On what about you? What do you think? Again, we've got an audience, and it's WWE train. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do at all. How the hell did I make that happen? Come on. You watch Raw, and not unique if AEW did it, but they had the trainees there, and for the first time since before WrestleMania, we had an audience at a WWE show. Did it make a difference for you?
Oh, absolutely. Like, it was awesome. Like, so I'm not the biggest AEW guy, which you guys should know by now.
Right.
But
right.
I did watch the last 2 weeks of it, and them being in a crowd made such a big difference for me. And then last night on Raw, I'm like, wait, all right. And I opened up, I see people in the crowd clapping. I see the glass up. I was like, all right, this reminds me of a Bruins game. Cool. But at the same time, I was like, it just made it. It really did. Especially, it really hit for me during the the Andrade versus Apollo Crews match. That's when it really, really made a difference for me. Yeah, I was a big fan of it. I liked at the end kind of how they were having people come down to try to break up Lashley and McIntyre and stuff. But yeah, I liked it. I'm kind of hoping on Wednesday night that we'll have some Raw and SmackDown guys in the crowd, but we'll see. But yeah, keep doing it. Keep doing that because I will pay attention.
Yeah. Do you think that the reason they pop so much for Apollo is because Apollo is a product of the PC, and they were jonesing for one of their own to finally get his first time.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. For sure.
Big G, what do you think?
Yeah. They all came down from the PC, even Andrade, but they got to boo the heel and cheer for the babyface. So.
Yeah, it was. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, you got two NXT guys. Yes, granted, Andrade had a little name for himself before from doing stuff in Mexico and stuff like that. And I know Apollo Crews said something about an 11-year journey last year. I've only known of him for like 4, but
yeah,
right.
But yeah, I think being in that building and then having those guys there in that atmosphere, I really think it meant a lot. And it really, for me, as a fan since like 1990. Of the product,
right?
It really made it feel like it was somewhat normalcy again.
So I'm glad you mentioned the exactly that you mentioned, Sukan. So I'm going to bring up to you first. I've talked to G quite a bit about we had a tentative taping schedule for the Undertaker Old School show that I abandoned because I just whatever. But you and I share an anniversary year, the Undertaker's debut.
Mm-hmm.
So, what have been your thoughts of the last ride?
Dude, so I went to Dollar General today and just got a few things, and my buddy Tim works there, and he saw my Bray Wyatt shirt, and we just started talking about wrestling, and him and his friend, he's just really kind of getting back into wrestling too, and him and his buddy are watching the Taker thing, and I was like, man, have you seen part 3? And he's like, no, I'm waiting to see it. I was like, let me tell you, I've watched it twice in the last 24 hours. It's amazing. It's something that, like I was telling my wife, I was like, I was a little intoxicated one night, and I was getting like, not like bubbly or like worked up or anything, but just excited. I'm like, I've known Mark Calloway as the Undertaker and this set persona for 30 years, and to see this side of him and to see his family brought into it, and his kids and everything else, it's amazing. And I think this is probably the best wrestling documentary I have ever seen, and we're not even done yet. We still have 2 parts to go, and after part 1, I was like, this is the best documentary I have ever seen.
Oh yeah,
only beginning.
I've been finding myself the last 3 weeks sitting here every single Sunday going, this is why the network is a thing. Would you agree, G?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, a lot of their documentaries or specials that they've been putting on, whoever would have thought that, we can see behind the scenes of WrestleMania, the R-Truth special was amazing. The Undertaker,
yes.
Last Ride. Oh my God. I mean, I finished up part 2 on Saturday, and I watched part 3 on Sunday, and oh my God, it was just amazing. Very, very, very good.
Yeah, it's one of the best. I mean, I signed up for the network day 1. Like, it went live, and I think I had subscribed within the first 45 seconds. Like, no shit. And this is the stuff, like, I've been waiting for something like this. This has been the most encouraging thing for a fan. Again, Colin and I go back 30 years, so we were there in fandom when the Undertaker came into being the Undertaker. So, as you said, Colin, to see Mark Calloway. Now, granted, we saw a little bit of him in 2001 and 2002 when he was the biker, but this is a completely elbows deep, in-depth look at Mark and Michelle and the girls, and it's just like, oh.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing. It really is. I mean,
yeah.
You know of one person one way. Like you said, we saw a little bit back in, 2001, 2002, when the whole DDP and Sarah thing was going on.
Right.
But way to hit the fucking the nail on the hammer, man. Like this is just, I don't know what they're going to do to top it. You know what I mean? Like, what's the next, like, what kind of documentary are you going to put out next to top that? Who can top it? Vince McMahon? Is that the only one that can really top what we're seeing right now?
Right, because I mean, you have to figure they have a chance to not blow that particular wad with Hogan, but Hogan did it to himself by having Hogan Knows Best. If we had no Hogan Knows Best, that'd be a wonderful insight, right? Like, see in the TMZ version since Nick's arrest. So I'd love to hear, again, elbows deep in the death of the Hogan family since 2009.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if Hogan plays his cards right and keeps his shit clean or his mouth shut or whatever, maybe we can get that down the line.
All the above, please, Terry. Please behave yourself.
Yeah.
So, okay, let me ask you. All right, let me ask. We had a whole bunch of comments come in here, so bear with me here. But the first thing I want to ask you guys, I forget if you're a fan, G, so forgive me. But Colin, according to what I read on the comments, Commissioner Bettman is saying 3 to 4 weeks we're having play. What do you think?
You cut out. What was that? One more time.
I said, according to Commissioner Bettman in a statement today or whatever it was, in 3 to 4 weeks, they're going to have hub cities to host the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Please. Okay. I need some type of other sport besides wrestling. I love wrestling, but I need something else. Give me baseball. Give me anything.
I don't care if the Staples Center hosts it or not, or if the Kings run or not. Make Staples Center be one of the places. Please.
I don't care if it's done in a Walmart parking lot on rollerblades. Like, just do it.
Seriously, I need me some live hockey. Yeah, I'm going cuckoo without my live hockey.
Like
that shit over here.
Get some street puck.
So, all right.
I don't care.
Yeah, seriously. So, few things. Edge stuff was very good. I liked Edge's comeback documentary. I thought that was very well done also.
Yeah, Edge's story was amazing.
So, right. So Rob G says, because people are saying that they're not saying your guys' names. So there's that problem solved. I liked Edge's documentary. I've actually liked all of Edge's documentaries. Hang on one second. Let me check them real quick. Bear with me, folks. I apologize. Okay. I thought so. There's a ton of noise. I was wondering where it was coming. It was coming from Colin's feed.
Sorry,
like, where's that clicking noise? I'm going nuts. So I figured I was just like it's like it can't be in my head. I can't be going that crazy yet. Okay. Rob G also brings up that the Monday Night Wars documentary was very good. I tend to disagree as far as it being a favorite, only because it's very WWE sided centric. It's not a whole lot of different views. It's very much, we won, here's our version of the story. Now, if you have Jim Crockett on that thing, like you have on the Rise and Fall of WCW, if you have Bischoff on there, like you have throughout the Monday Night Wars, or the Rise and Fall Monday Night Wars series or whatever, then yeah, maybe I like it more, but it's very much, well, Vince was the king, and, here's what the court jesters did for 6 years. It's like, So.
See, one of my personal favorites.
Here we go.
ECW.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I am glad. Sorry.
I didn't hear a word you said.
He said, I'm glad they left it intact on the network as they did, because they could have very easily set up too much Benoit. Sorry.
Yeah. I remember buying it. I remember it was Black Friday 2000.
Yeah, me too.
Waiting in line at Best Buy for about 55 minutes. And I was literally, let's see, so 2005, I was 17 years old.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I remember that day, like, yeah, I remember the first watch through on that. I was just like jaw to the floor, kind of from the start. But
yeah, I honestly feel that was the best documentary I've seen WWE produce till 3 Sundays ago.
Right.
Honestly,
I agree with you. I agree with you, man. 100%. Couldn't agree more.
yeah. So here's an interesting comment. I kind of like this. Jeff, I think WWE should do a personal documentary on John Cena and his thoughts on his career from 2002 to now. I would like for him about his struggles and his hardship maintaining his main event spot. Without telling tales out of school too much, there's a lot of stuff about John's personal life that will never see the light of day, and that's more of a corporate hush-hush type thing than it is John's personal decision. So we will never see a full-on, in-depth, tell-all TMZ-style documentary on John Cena. I'll tell you that right now.
We could. I mean, we could in like another 20 years, 15 years maybe. I mean, we never thought we'd see this from The Undertaker, but guess what we're getting now?
Yeah.
So, I mean, never say
right.
never. WWE, I guess.
Well, I feel that, he would have to be long retired and well out of the public eye. So maybe in 20 years, it's a possibility.
Like JP from Angels in the Outfield said, it could happen.
That's right. I'm so glad you mentioned Angels in the Outfield. I'm going to take the opportunity to give a ridiculous Pete plug as we do this live here. Let's see if I do. And on Friday, July 17th, so about a little under 2 months from now, as not always on wrestling, we'll have our top 10 baseball movies.
Okay.
So we're going to do that show in a few weeks. A lot of stuff going on with the dads. We've got, let me just go ahead and fill it up real quick. We've got coming up on the show the next few weeks. Next Friday, June 5th, we have top 10 mostly movie, meaning they're mostly movies, but they're also other media franchises. And 2 weeks after that is King of the Ring tournament matches and pay-per-view, non-pay-per-view tournament pay-per-view matches. Easy for me to say. Jeez. The 4th of July, champions, top video champions. And as I mentioned, July 17th is baseball movies. That's in a few weeks. So that's what we're going with. But we've got a lot of stuff lined up. We pretty much got the show booked up until after the Royal Rumble as far as what we're going to post, when we're going to post it. So that'll be fun to try out.
Now, if you ever need anybody for dads on wrestling or not, and the topic is right, remember, I am Proud Papa, and I'm always willing to help you out.
Yes. Definitely. And as I mentioned to you privately, I'll go ahead and throw it out there. I did leave that to primarily JJ because that was he and Mai's baby back in 2011 and 2012 and whatever it was. So I'm trying to see how far we can get the meat on the bone to it before we branch out the host list. But definitely, I mean, I'm going to mute your mic. Yeah, hang on. I'm muting your mic, so bear with me here. Basically, we're going to do, after the ones I mentioned, we're going to have top 10 Great American Bash matches, top 10 Summer Songs, top 10 SummerSlam matches. On September 11th, we're going to have a retrospective on the 9/11 episode of SmackDown, which was supposed to be on, it ended up being on the 13th or whatever live. Halloween Havoc matches coming up, top 10 horror movies coming up, Survivor Series matches in November, right around Mickey Mouse Day. The Walt Disney Animated Studios top 10 movies, which is like, from Snow White to now, not the Pixars or the whatevers, but Snow White, Cinderella, all those guys. Starrcade matches, Christmas movies, and Royal Rumble matches, both or either the match itself or the other pay-per-view matches. So that's what's coming. And Colin, you are free to go. You're unmuted, sir.
All right. Well, I'm gonna hop off because I'm at like 3% battery on the old phone. So.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So thanks for having me on, buddy. It's always a pleasure doing work with you, Big G. Same as always, man.
Yep.
Real quick, just follow me.
Colin, thank you very much. Let me go ahead and. All right. Thank you very much, sir. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy those burgers.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Take care. And
take it easy.
Always support NoDQ.com.
Take care, brother.
Again, much love to Chris Mace.
Yes, thank you much, Colin. Thank you, sir. All right. So let's the damn thing here. Not good, kiddo. You're not eating. You need to eat. You need to eat, Thomas, sweetie. Friend of mine is choosing to not eat today.
Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, it sounds like some.
She does that.
It sounds like some good episodes coming up for you guys. So I'll be definitely tuning in.
Yep, and that's every other Friday because I didn't want to, overstep my welcome too much during the course of my own channel. Plus, every other Friday I'm doing trivia with Greg. So
with Greg, yeah. All right.
Which by the way, that's also this Friday, so that'd be cool to.
Oh yeah, okay.
That'd be cool to. It'd be cool to see. So I'm gonna go ahead and get back to the questions right now. Big T, anything else you wanted to add or say or anything?
No, that was it. It's good to be on with you and Colin. Hopefully you'll be on the review this Thursday again. I'll be back for sure. Now that my schedule is a lot better, so I'll be on videos a lot more.
Right.
So
yeah, I mentioned at the top of the show before I brought you on. 7 Eastern's hard because I got people home that sit right here through the curtain without a wall. So kind of a pain in everybody's ass to listen to me talk for an hour. So we'll see how things play out.
All right. Well, that's it for me then.
Thank you. G, you have a great rest of your day, brother. Enjoy NWA and AW Dark.
I sure will.
Later, brother.
Later.
All right. So we're almost at the top of the hour here, which I love, wonderful. I don't know why this thing is taking so long to respond to my picks, but I don't like it. So let's see here. All right, here we go. Can you go? Can you load? Why aren't you loading? Okay, anyway. Okay. That's all I wanted to do. Not what I wanted to do also. That'll work. So let's go ahead and get through the last part of the comments here before I have to go, because I do have to go pretty soon here, because we're going to have people coming home here momentarily. So bear with me here. Let me get the shit. You guys know where you are. If you don't know where you are, oh baby, you're gonna die. No, I'm kidding. Come on, load. God. Wrestling Fan 98 had a lot of comments, and I appreciate that very much. By the way, you guys are encouraged to comment on YouTube. I have no problem with anybody commenting. I will read everybody's comments as long as they're appropriate. I'm not gonna read a bunch of garbage or whatever, but I'll definitely read if it's appropriate. So when he was talking about Cena, we're talking about the documentary on Cena earlier, he said, for example, it would be interesting to hear John's take on the alleged conflict with Alex Riley backstage. I think it'd be very suspicious and bad for him to not shed light on their heated clashes. You probably will hear about that. And that wouldn't surprise me if that comes as far as what happened between him and A-Rye comes to public knowledge. But I don't think it's any of our damn business. I really don't. So I don't see it for it. All right. I think it's necessary. It would be cool for Sami Zayn to get a title shot. He was one of the best talkers in the company right now. He is such a good talker, and he's better off as a heel. I agree. Sammy's a great heel, and I think that he and Kevin got their shot against AJ, and he lost Sammy. I like El Generico when he was still Generico. I've known Sammy. God, I've known Sammy for 6, but I don't know if they'll ever world champion. So keep that in mind. Also, I don't see that ever happening, and it's not a slight on Sammy. That's a commentary on management's lack of foresight on wanting to go out of their proverbial comfort zone. So there you go. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it at that. I've been talking for an hour almost, and I'm tired, and haven't done this a whole lot lately. So I appreciate you guys staying with me. Thank you all very, very much for everybody that tuned in. I had a lot of people in the chat rooms over the hour, and I greatly appreciate all the comments, all the questions. Thank you to Big Baller G, Jeff, and the Cleaver, Colin Andrew, for coming in and joining me in discussion. I also cannot wait until we see part 4 of Undertaker Last Ride again. It's on June 14th. It sucks me to wait 2 weeks. Actually, no. 3 weeks. 3 weeks, which really sucks. So we'll see you next time right here on the Championship Network. Tomorrow, don't forget. Let me throw it up there one more time. Actually, wait a minute. That's the one. Don't forget, tomorrow, right here on the Jeff Meacham Network, is going to be SmackDown from the infamous TLC 3. It's from